Abbeville. I said, well, what? He said, well, it's too much traffic. We're gonna make a 4-lane out of it. I said, well, I'll look into it. So I looked into it and finally decided we could do it. And guess what? Guess who got the job? So they don't call it the Gene Sellers Road for nothing. I've been here many times, and I've always enjoyed being here, and I'm very pleased to see so many old friends. I want you to know that I miss you, and I enjoyed working with you, and I appreciate the support that you have. And Governor, these are the kind of the people who can make it possible for you to be the governor 2 times. Now, a lot of reasons why we ought to re-elect this man. When you became governor, the state was broke. Colleges and universities were almost bankrupt. Hospitals were bankrupt. The state had a bad deficit. But he worked with the legislature and made things better. In a short time, the deficit has been converted to a surplus, and it's a healthy surplus today. But if there's one reason why we ought to re-elect him, it's Medicaid. When he became governor, he arranged for 400,000 people, children, old people, unemployed people, poor people, to get medical service. And 17,000 doctors and nurses and hospital employees, bus drivers, and everybody in the medical field got better jobs. That alone justifies his re-election. But I'll tell you what, the best thing is, he made this state what it is today, away from what it was 4 years ago.
You know that about that, man.
And I know that he's going to get re-elected on the 12th of October, and he's going to serve another 4 years, and I'm asking him to run for president after his 4 years. to do that, but we're going to work on it. Anyhow, I thank you so much for inviting me here. I'm so proud and pleased to introduce a man who needs no introduction. The present governor, the future governor, the Honorable John Bell Edwin.
You know, I've been governor for almost 4 years, and I walk into a room and somebody says, Governor Edwards, it just now started that I don't turn and look for him. Thank you very much, Governor Edwards, for that introduction, and thank you for your long service to the state of Louisiana. I want to thank Gene for, again, hosting an event for me here at this beautiful camp, and I want to thank all of y'all for coming out. I'm going to keep this brief. I know the sun's poking out every now and then, it's hot. The fact of the matter is the state of Louisiana, in so many critical ways, it's just so much better off today than we were 4 years ago because of a lot of hard work. But it's all been bipartisan work. Unlike what you see in Washington, in Louisiana, we still do come together, regardless of party. And we can sit down, we can chart a course forward that will actually benefit the state of Louisiana. That's what's happened. That $2 billion deficit was addressed between me and the legislature in a way that was completely bipartisan. It was balanced. We had cuts, we had savings, and yes, we had revenue. But all of the revenue got a 2/3 vote, including a majority of Republicans both in the House and in the Senate. And as soon as we were able to do so, we cut taxes by $600 million last year. We still had a $500 million surplus this year because our economy is performing better. And I'm happy to tell you that for the first time in a decade, we are making investments in our critical priorities. First time in 10 years, we gave our teachers a pay raise. Now that's important. I knew I had some educators here today. But we also made sure that the first net new investment in higher education in 10 years happened. You know, Governor Edwards was right. We actually did have the Southern University have to declare bankruptcy during the last term. They call it financial exigency in the higher ed world. But that's how bad things were. The deepest cuts anywhere in the nation to higher education in the 8 years before I became governor happened right here in Louisiana. But we're on top of that now. We're making investments. Early childhood, $20 million more this year than last year. 1,500 more kids with a quality space in a daycare, in a early childhood education setting. So we're making a positive difference across the state. Moody's in 2015, when General was still governor, they put the outlook for Louisiana as negative. Shortly after I became governor, they moved it to stable. 2 weeks ago, they moved it to positive. Because it is positive. We're doing better. How much better? The largest economy in the history of our state is growing at the 10th fastest rate in the country, number one in the Southeast. Personal income, the highest it has ever been in the history of the state of Louisiana. Unemployment is 4.3% today. That's the lowest in 12 years. And it's 2 percentage points lower than when I became governor. And so don't let anybody kid you. Our state's doing better. Now, we still have challenges. You know it, and I know it. But we can now look at those challenges from a position of strength, not weakness, which is where we were. And I want to tell you about Medicaid expansion, too. The governor mentioned it. First day in office, I signed an executive order. 450,000 working Louisianans now have health insurance. They didn't have it before. And all we did was bring our federal tax dollars home, because for years we were sending those dollars to Washington, and they were sending them to 30 other states so their working poor could have health insurance, and ours went without. And it was one of the ways we addressed the budget deficit. We saved over $300 million in the first 2 years by bringing those dollars home, because the fact of the matter is it costs the state more for someone to remain uninsured than it does to insure them through Medicaid. And we have not had a single hospital closure in the state of Louisiana since I've been governor. Unlike all the other southern states that didn't expand Medicaid, they've had hospitals closing by the dozen. But most importantly, people now have access to primary care and preventative care who never had it before. Before, they would stay at home or at work until they got so sick they had to go to the emergency room, only to be told that they had a disease or an illness that had progressed to the point where it was going to be very hard to treat it. Now, those diagnoses come sooner, the treatment starts sooner, they get healthier sooner, they keep working, they keep supporting themselves and their families, and for many of them, they actually get a chance to live. Which is why I say, you know that I'm pro-life, but I'm not just pro-birth. The Medicaid expansion is a pro-life position as well, and it's the easiest big decision I'm going to ever make as governor, is to take care of the people of Louisiana. And I want you to try this one on for size. 2 weeks ago, the Census Bureau said that Louisiana had an 8% rate of people without health insurance. That's less than half of what it was when I became governor, and it's actually lower than the national average. It is. We were one of 15 states in the whole country last year that ended up with more people insured rather than less. So we're on a much better path in Louisiana. I'm excited about the future. And because we're doing so much better than we were 4 years ago, that's why this election looks so good too. I'm very optimistic. Now, early voting starts tomorrow, in case you didn't know. It starts tomorrow, it goes all next week, and it goes Saturday, October the 5th. Election day is October the 12th. We never know what the weather's going to be like on October the 12th. We never know what's going to come up. You may wake up and you're so excited about LSU beating Florida, you forget that there's an election. So I'm asking everybody, go out tomorrow and vote if you can. Vote next week. But not just you, your family, your friends, your co-workers, people you go to church with. This is really important, because the fact of the matter is elections have consequences. And had my opponent been elected 4 years ago, you wouldn't have heard about all the progress we've made over the last 4 years. But none of the progress we've made is irreversible. And so I'm asking you to go out and vote for number 4 or 4 more. And if you will do that, we're going to keep Louisiana moving forward. I got a couple people here I need to recognize, and I know Gene did this primarily, but I've got Jack Montesay, our wonderful Wildlife and Fisheries Secretary. Jack, I want to thank you for being here. James Loscom, who runs the Governor's Office of Homeland Security Emergency Preparedness. And Senator, where are you at? Bob Hiskins, there you at. I should have done that. Look, we're going to continue to put Louisiana first. Ryan, you here? I haven't seen you, Ryan. Where you at? Ryan, where you at? Thank you very much. I'll even thank him for being here. Thank you, Jim. Look, I'm gonna work hard every day to continue to put Louisiana first. If we will just put Louisiana first and not party, we will be able to figure out what the answers to all of our problems are, and we're going to be much better off. I will never aspire to look like Washington, D.C., where there's so much dysfunction and people won't even sit and talk to one another, much less work together and get things done. And if we will just do that, our best days are ahead of us here in Louisiana. I'm excited. I don't know if you saw the forecast for next year, but Lauren Scott just this week in the comments from LSU talked about we have a boom coming like we haven't seen in many, many years. And that's on top of the current economy, which is already doing so much better than it was. So I am very excited about the future of Louisiana. Let's just stay the course. Let's resist the urge that you're getting from my opponents to go back to where we were 4 years ago. And if you'll do that, we're going to keep our state moving forward. Our children and our grandchildren will have all the opportunity, all the prosperity that we want for them, and they'll have it right here in Louisiana. God bless you, and thank you so much.